Phone calls 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Also, give us your shouts on Twitter at Josh Taylor HD. Jason checks in first on Twitter and says, besides Rivero and Nicasio, is there anyone worth keeping in this Pirates bullpen? In a word, no. Here's the number. If you want to talk about where this Pirates bullpen is, you want to talk about critical decisions that have made a difference with this team, here's one number you need to look at. 17.7. That is the amount of money in millions that is tied up into Daniel Hudson, Tony Watson, and Antonio Bastardo. 3 pitchers, $17.7 million. Now, think about how good they've been this year, or how not good they've been. That's something that should frustrate you. So to answer your question, no, I don't. I don't think there was anyone else worth keeping as far as this bullpen's concerned. And that's even with Hudson starting to at least have a couple of good outings recently. But that would have been something to feel better about in May, not in July. Let's go to Will in Monroeville. Will, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, Josh. How are you tonight?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I wanted to talk Pirates with you if I could.
Go for it.
I've been a long-time season ticket holder up until 2 years ago when this team just started to go in their supposed bridge year. Now this team has totally gone backwards, in my opinion, because and just in moves today, you see Diaz is gone, but yet Max Moroff is still here. I don't understand what they're trying to do with the pitching when A.J. Schugel comes back, but Bastardo's still here. It's these moves like that is the reason why the stadium keeps being empty. What is your thoughts?
Well, to answer your first question, the Diaz versus Moroff thing, if Elias Diaz could play second base, he'd be here and not Max Moroff. That's why Max Moroff's here. They only have another option besides him, and that's Chris Bostic. That's pretty much it. Your other options are AAA. Pretty sure Gifton Gope is still coming off an injury, and they're trying to build him back up so he's ready to come back up and play every day, or at least make some contributions. He's not ready to do that yet. So you're stuck with Max Moroff as far as middle infielders go, because remember, Alan Hansen's with the White Sox now because they designated him for assignment, and he's gone. So you lose that guy. He might have been a great option, right? Anything better than Max Moroff. So when you don't have any other options, you're stuck with a guy you probably don't want. And if Elias Diaz played second base, he would be here. As far as the bullpen, I totally agree with you. A.J. Schugel is coming up. Antonio Bastardo is still here. No one really knows why. And he's making $6.6 million this season, and it's the most unexplainable thing. If there's anything that's unexplainable in this team, that might be the most unexplainable thing, at least in my personal opinion. Let's go to Jim and Erwin. Jim, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, Josh, just want to run something by you and get your opinion, and then I'll hang up and listen to you. Why would you think Hurdle would let Williams bat with men on first and second? I know it was around the 4th inning in scoring position, a man at second. He's thrown 80-some pitches, and I'd already said to some coworkers who were listening to the game, you watch Williams go out there the next inning and give up 2 to 3 runs. And I'm not saying that because I know it would happen. I figured that would happen, and he did it. And it just doesn't explain. He has a LeBlanc. There's somebody could go in there and go 2-3 innings. His decisions are unreal.
Have you seen this bullpen?
The game are crazy.
Have you seen this bullpen?
You, Josh, thanks.
I'm asking you a question. Have you seen this bullpen?
Have I seen what, Josh?
Have you seen this Pirates bullpen?
Yeah, I've
They're
seen
not
it.
good, right?
I know.
That's
I
why.
know they're not good.
That's why. That's your
but
answer.
I just couldn't understand. Williams was in and out of trouble. Not all his fault, but 80-some pitches. It's just mind-blowing.
Because Trevor Williams was the better option than the options in the bullpen. That's why. That's it.
Okay, Josh.
That's really it. And that's not a good thing. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm not trying to be rude. But that's the answer. Because a tired Trevor Williams was better than most of the options that this bullpen could provide, especially that early in the game. This is why the defense being so bad in the first 2 innings became a problem. Because if the defense is not so bad in the first 2 innings, Trevor Williams doesn't throw 30 pitches in the first inning. He probably doesn't throw close to 20 in the second. That's what makes this so different. Because now you have to go to your bullpen a lot earlier. And we already had Jason who asked me on Twitter, other than Rivero and Nicasio, do you trust anybody? And the answer is no. So they didn't have anybody to trust. So you're stuck with going with Wade LeBlanc. And if you have to go to him in the 4th inning as opposed to a tired Trevor Williams, I don't think the results end up being much different. Honestly, I really don't think it changes much. And if they don't get to LeBlanc in the 4th, they probably get to the guy who pitches in the 5th or the guy they get to in the 6th like they did later on. They probably get to this bullpen in some way, shape, or form anyway because, once again, outside of Rivero and Nicasio, not much to trust. Rich in Altoona. Rich, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, Josh. I really don't have a question. I just have like a little rant.
Okay, keep it tight. We're up against a break, so keep it short.
Okay. You know, this whole thing is frustrating. We keep talking about the same things every night. The same things keep going wrong. Inconsistency all over this organization.
Consistent inconsistency. That's what I call it.
Pardon me?
Consistent inconsistency.
Yeah,
That's what I call it.
absolutely. And everybody's blaming Clint Hurdle. You can only play the hand you're dealt, and he's not dealt a very good hand. You know what? Trade everybody that you can. Bring up guys from Indianapolis. If you're going to lose, you might as well lose on the cheap, because that's the only word this upper management seems to understand. And it's fitting that the ballpark is named after a bank, because that's all these guys worry about is bottom line money. It's just really frustrating to have you and the other hosts have to come out and talk about the same thing every single night, and nothing changes. It's so frustrating, and I just wish people would wake up to the fact that this thing's never going to change as long as current upper management has hold of this team. Do you agree?
You had me at the having you come out every night and talk about it, because, yeah, I got to talk about it on the radio tomorrow morning, too. 9 to 11, 93.7 The Fan. But, yeah, he's absolutely right. About 80% of that I agree with. The consistent inconsistency becomes a factor. It does seem like every night we're talking about the same thing, right? Whether it's some decision that someone made, or it's the bullpen, or it's no options to replace certain player at certain position in certain situation, it just seems like the same problems over and over again. And there's no solutions in sight, which is not good. It's not good as far as this team's concerned. That's why I don't expect them to be a contender at the end of this month when the trade deadline comes. I thought there was too much of a hill to climb just in the final couple weeks of July to get there. I thought it was too much to deal with, and I thought it was too much that they could not handle. And there's too many problems that they cannot solve. And those are really good explanations or good examples of it. So what we'll do is, Anthony and Verona, I want you to actually hold the line here. We'll take a break. We'll come back because we've got a lot more to talk about here on the Nightly Sports Call. Stay with us.